Hey all, no null here. So typically the ruler of a kingdom is pretty important to its stable functioning, and so this ruler suddenly disappearing one day along with the central building of government seems like it would be a pretty big disaster for this kingdom. So what the hell is the status of the Mushroom Kingdom within the SMG4 universe without Princess Peach? While this is some pretty insignificant information, all things considered, having it established what exactly happened to the kingdom after Peach became stuck in the demon pit would have been nice for the world building and lore, and would have made sense for inclusion in the Let's Go Visit Peach episode or something. We could probably infer that the US government is now just completely running the kingdom, since for some reason they coexisted alongside Peach in the Mushroom Kingdom lol. But I hope if they ever do pursue a plot point revolved around the leadership of the kingdom, or at the very least mention this piece of lore, that they do something interesting with it, since I could see some very interesting ideas for stories they could tell with this potential power vacuum left by Peach. One idea they could pursue, which they left room for after the events of the Let's Go Visit Peach episode, is to have Peach returned from the demon pit in her monster form to get revenge on the SMG4 crew for basically being responsible for the destruction of her castle. She may try to exact the revenge by taking over SMG4's new castle, and obviously here they could briefly re-establish her as ruler of the kingdom in her demon form, before possibly being turned back to normal and then continuing to rule as before. But I think I've come up with a more interesting idea for dealing with this unanswered question in the lore. Though to be clear, I would still like to see Peach return in an antagonistic role at some point in the future. Here's my pitch for a potential arc, or at least a potential episode if you scaled my idea's scope back. We could have things progressively begin to degrade around the Mushroom Kingdom with the main government body and Princess gone. In this story we'll just ignore the whole US government thing, by the way lol. We could then have a new antagonist enter the scene and take over rule of the kingdom, either by taking the throne for themselves or by installing a proxy ruler, and this new ruler would be rather tyrannical, as for example, maybe they would ban memes and try to restore the Mushroom Kingdom's credibility as a respectable kingdom on the world stage by reversing its image of being a chaotic meme fever dream, and restoring it to how it used to be before the Guardian pods arrived. And for obvious reasons, the SMG4 crew would oppose this new ruler and seek to overthrow them, which could give the arc a revolution sort of theme, like Sonic Forces, but hopefully put to its full potential. Admittedly, in some aspects my idea is a bit similar to the lawsuit arc, where Lawyer Kong also wanted to reverse the kingdom to a previous state and ban memes, so perhaps my idea could use some tweaking and more originality, but I think having the arc take a more serious tone and focusing more on the aspect of evading and opposing a tyrannical authority could make it stand out a lot from the lawsuit arc. Anyway, after inevitably defeating this new ruler, a new ruler would obviously be needed to prevent a tyrannical one from getting to power again and to prevent anarchy growing in the kingdom. For obvious reasons, this new ruler wouldn't be Peach, both because she is currently a monster and because, considering the more original direction that the SMG4 series is being taken, having the new ruler not be Peach but an original character would be more fitting with the current direction. Personally, as a homage to Peach, I think this new ruler should be a princess, and I think the character best suited for this role is Melanie. The reason I would choose her is for several reasons, including the fact that it would give something interesting for her character to do after Revelation, since they've clearly abandoned the manga artist plot point. Melanie would also have a reasonably justified right to rule, being a god in all, and if she took over the kingdom, we could rename the kingdom to the Melon Kingdom or something like that, which would allow us to keep the MK acronym as well as the plant theming of the Mushroom Kingdom. Now I know some of you might question how good of a ruler Melanie would be, and if she'd even take the role, and that's exactly the point. She probably would be a lazy and ineffective ruler, which could make for some good comedy. We could also have someone take up the Toads Were Earth role who would de facto rule the kingdom, and since we still haven't seen what is in the upper floors of the new castle yet, we could place Melanie's throne room up there like how Peach's throne room was in the upper floors of the old castle. By the way, if you wanted to expand this potential arc scenario into something bigger, like the cosmology lore which expanded over 2 arcs, and also get as much deep lore as the cosmology lore, we could finally expand upon the wider world of SMG4 by exploring different kingdoms besides the Mushroom Kingdom. That new antagonist ruler I mentioned earlier, who was from the Mushroom Kingdom and wished for its glory non-memory days to come back, could instead be from a new rival kingdom, with this antagonist aiming to take over the Mushroom Kingdom to expand their home kingdom's influence by turning the Mushroom Kingdom into its puppet state. And perhaps ideologically this rival kingdom is the complete opposite of the Mushroom Kingdom, being devoid of memes and is very serious but also very dull, and so it despises the Mushroom Kingdom and wishes to see it become more respectable. Anyways, hope you enjoyed that minor SMG4 lore video turned fanfiction, and in the 0.1% chance someone from the SMG4 team is watching this, please feel free to steal my ideas. I would really like to see how the actual team would handle a story like this.